Why can't I find you? Unmute. Okay. Hi, Maria.
I had to switch computers because the other one just started, as soon as we started, it just crashed. So this happened
Yeah.
last time too. There's like a lot of energy around right now.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised.
It's cool. We have like other people from like Maryland, Vegas, Australia, Colorado, Virginia, Chicago, Missouri. So that's really exciting.
Awesome. Welcome,
Seattle.
guys.
Yes. And then just to catch you up, I asked how people are feeling. Some are nervous, curious, excited, kind of like that. So yeah, and Will, I truly hope to get my true answer on my situation. Well, I hope you do too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know some of you guys who've been in the last session, you kind of are going to hear me say the same spiel. But one thing that's different about today's is that because we're trying to keep the session to only an hour, because last time it ran way over time, and we'd like everyone to get a chance to participate. So just for time's sake, we can just fit in one question per person. So make that question good. So before we start, I'm going to explain a little who we're going to be talking to when Maria is channeling. And Maria has her team of spirit guides, and also your spirit guides are here as well. So each person actually, believe it or not, you guys all have a team of spirit guides. So imagine like a team or a board of directors on the other side in the afterlife that are actually helping you guys on your journey in life, right? So some of them can be your loved ones that have passed away, and some of them are other spirits or angels as well. So if your question is you're looking for a personal message from a loved one, just type in the name of the person in the chat box below of who you're trying to reach. And then for legal purposes, if you guys are asking a health related question, I have to say this, but Maria and I are not licensed medical professionals. And after today's event, some of you might feel, depending on what ends up surfacing, you might feel like you need to have a need for a longer session to dive more into your questions much deeper, or your whatever issues that might come up. And this Saturday, Maria actually having office hours from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Los Angeles time. So I'll actually just type in the chat link below so you guys can check it out. So that's that. And my grandpa is here. We called him in beforehand. And before we start, I was wondering Maria, if we can ask grandpa. He's like super cool, super wise, like Buddha, and I love talking to him for insight. So does grandpa have any messages for anyone that's come out tonight?
Let's see. So he's just happy to see people getting together, even though it's a tough time right now and we can't see each other in person. So he finds the abilities of technology pretty interesting because when he was alive, he did not get to witness all these marvels. So he's just happy to see everyone getting together, and he wants to tell everybody there's no need to be afraid. This is all of love and light, and he's really excited to see some healing come through today. So he welcomes you all, and he said he's going to be watching like he always does. He's going to step aside and just, enjoy.
Awesome. Okay. If you guys would like to ask your questions or chat with each other, feel free to type in the chat box below. All right, question number 1, Jeanette. Hi. So my question is about my brother. He's moving this year to a different state and hopes to pursue his dream career. How exciting. How is that going to turn out for him? Any information or tips for him?
Okay. Okay, so his guides are saying just to be patient with the process. Is there, I'm feeling, okay, yeah. So it's just, there might be just some minor just frustrations during the moving process, just, for him to be patient and to know that it's going to work out. It's a little bit of a process. And they're saying to not get too caught up in the stress of it and just still enjoy the prospect and get excited. To not be too weighed down by all the mundane stresses that kind of come up with the move. I feel like they're saying something about making sure he gets enough sleep. I'm not sure if he like is a night owl or he likes to work a lot, but they're just saying to make sure he gets enough rest during this time of transition so that he can be at his best. And they're saying he's going to learn a lot, and they're excited for him because there are going to be a lot of great, valuable lessons that are come through for him on his path in this life. So they're saying they're telling him to believe in himself and to try not to let self-doubt take over, because he's got what it takes to make it. And so they'll be watching him and guiding him through the process.
Yay, 2 thumbs up. Hi, this is Annie. I'm really unhappy at my current workplace because I feel like I have reached my fullest potential. I have been thinking of quitting my job to pursue my passion, which is writing, and I started a book over 7 years ago, but never finished. I want to know, if I quit my job to pursue writing, will I be successful and financially abundant?
Okay. It's really awesome that you started a book. Okay, so let me ask for you. Ask your guides. Oh, they're saying you're very talented, but you struggle with self-doubt. They're saying that that's one of your biggest blockers is you start to kind of you start doubting yourself right before you're about to maybe like do something, or maybe you make something and then you're like, oh no, that's not good enough. And you kind of sabotage yourself a little bit. So they're saying like they understand that the creative process can make you feel that way, but they want you to know that you're very talented and you just need to make sure that you don't overthink it too much. They're saying to trust your creative instincts, and that it's okay to ease into being a professional writer. If you're feeling like too much pressure to like quit your day job and just go right into writing, they're saying that, you know, you don't have to just jump in with both feet necessarily, especially because they don't want you to feel so stressed that then you can't be creative. So they're saying like if you can find a way to just start part-time writing and then ease into it and build your confidence back up again and kind of get in your groove again, that would be really great. They're saying there's definitely potential for success, but the big lesson here is learning to trust yourself and to trust in your abilities and to always make time for the things that you love. But they know it's hard with life's responsibilities and things like that. So they're saying to just put aside a little bit of time, try at least a couple times a week to start, and then ease into more and more until you're really in your groove.
I hope that helps. Yeah. All I can say is you are not alone. I know plenty of people, including myself, that always have self-doubt in pursuing what we love, and also like knowing if it's going to be successful or not. But all I can say is it's always usually more fulfilling. Well, Annie says thank you too.
You're welcome, and really best of luck with that. That's amazing. You should definitely. They're excited for you to get back into that again.
All right, with Margot, I would like some guidance on my career.
Hi, Margot. Okay. Okay, so are you currently doing a job that you're not necessarily thrilled about right now, or like you're not sure if you want to commit to it? Yeah, okay. So again, this feels like another case of just being worried about the financial stability and then kind of limiting you from pushing forward and doing something a little more fulfilling. Does that sound about right? No? Okay. So basically what they're showing is that there's some really good potentials there, but was there something that you wanted to specifically that you specifically sought guidance on in regards to career? Because there's a lot of different directions they could go.
Let me see if I'm gonna unmute you, Margot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
I already work at a place, but yeah, I'm not growing. It's very stagnant. I need to, I think, get out on my own, but I don't have any clientele, so I don't know what to do. Do I stay there? What do I, I need some help.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's the stagnation energy is definitely that's kind of one of the blockers they're showing me is what's happened is you've kind of taken that stagnant energy and it kind of affects you even when you're not at doing work. Like you bring it home with you, metaphorically or whatever. And so that energy is not like a great manifesting energy. So they want you to know that that's contained within the job. Your whole life doesn't have to feel and suffer from that stagnation. That you can actually they're saying that there's some hobbies maybe you've put aside that could help kind of break you out of that stagnant energy. Just something fun that you enjoy doing to just start easing you into a different energy. And that may not have anything to do with the career you're going to pursue, but it's more of just getting out of the certain rut it seems like that you're stuck in a certain rut. So they're saying that's really key to like starting to be able to attract new possibilities, because there is more potential out there for you, but you just need to get over that little hump first. But they're saying like that you totally have the power to do it, and they want you to not feel guilty for doing things that are enjoyable as you're starting to want to attract those better things.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mimi, I was laid off from my job recently. Sorry about that. Can my loved ones advise what they see as the most beneficial path for me going forward, to start my own company now or start applying for jobs?
That's interesting. They're really excited about the idea of you starting your own business. They're saying that basically because your life is going to change in a few ways becoming a mother, this is going to be a good time to start looking into online businesses that you can do from home or businesses that you can manage from home. Because they're saying that you have enough skill built up now that you could start diving into this. Of course, they're saying to be patient with the growth, because it does take, there is a process there. But they're saying that it feels like it's something that you've been considering for a long time. So they're saying that this actually, that everything kind of lines up, even if it's inconvenient for a time, to open up better opportunities. So they're saying to start exploring ways that you could have your own business from home.
Okay. Aaron, my brother-in-law passed away last summer. It is kind of a mystery in how it happened. Could you give me some insight on that, and if he has any messages for us?
Okay, let's see if we can reach him. Your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a self-inflicted kind of passing, but it feels kind of accidental almost. Like it doesn't feel like it feels like he was surprised by it in some way. It's interesting. And I'm just trying to get more detail from him.
Aaron, I'm going to unmute you in case you want to say anything.
Oh yeah.
No pressure though.
Yeah, that's good. That way.
Just some people just don't want to like chat and, you know.
So he wants to say, just before we dive into the other maybe kind of mysterious stuff, he just wants to let you guys know he's okay. He's crossed over, and he feels at peace with it. But it does feel like it was a kind of death that was it was surprising in some way to him. It feels like an accident, like some sort of accidental death, and it feels almost like a, I don't know if it's literally how he passed, but almost like a slipping situation, like slipping and falling or something that's that kind of like, it's like stumbling or there's some sort of accidental like oops, like, where you're not really like aware that there's danger involved before you pass away. I don't know. I'm trying to
Aaron typed in, she said, over the road truck driver. He wasn't the one driving. His student was. We don't know what happened.
Yeah, so there's a distracted element to it. It feels like there was some sort of distraction that happened that basically that's what it feels like. It felt like it was just the driver was distracted. It feels like they were actually talking, and yeah, they were actually like kind of having a good time talking, just enjoying the drive. And they were both very shocked when it happened. When they first passed away, they were kind of a little bit confused because it happened so quickly. So I don't feel like there was a suffering. It feels like at least one of them died fairly instantaneously. I'm not sensing a lot of suffering. At least that's not the energy they carried over with them on the other side. So they don't convey any kind of pain, that, because people always worry about that. But he's saying it was his time to go, and he loves you all very much, and he's so sorry that this happened so quickly. He misses you all so much. Does he have a kid or two? Yeah.
Too.
Yep. He's saying he misses them so much, but he's with them all the time. He still tries to kind of tuck them in and, watch over them, and he's with them through all the growing they do. So they'll never be without him in spirit. He's aware of everything they're up to, and he just is regretful that he can't be there with everyone. So, but he said, thank you so much for connecting with him today. It means so much to him.
She said thank you. Oh, my eyes are getting watery. Okay. Let me try to scroll back down. Okay. Jing. Hi, this is Jing. I'd like to ask who is in my team of spirit guides. Could you introduce them to me? Do they have any important messages for me this month?
Okay, so I saw the number 3. I think you have more guides in this. We have guides that do different things. So the representatives that are just coming through today, I saw the number 3. So let's start with number 1. Okay, so I'm seeing it feels like there's 2 male presences and a female like energy, but one of them doesn't necessarily seem like a modern day human, or they might be not completely human. They're very attached to, they're kind of earthy feeling, like they have kind of this herbally or kind of earthy feeling to them. And then there's another one, the female. She feels more like a maternal feeling. She feels more like she's kind of like a soother, like a soothing energy. It feels like she's been with this particular one has been with you since you were a child. The other one of them came in a little later. I'm seeing teenage years. And there's another one there. Then I guess there's another male energy, and he feels like he's a newer guide that's there to help you for more of like your spiritual journey. I'm seeing a lot of blue energy around him. That's kind of what he's just showing me, is like almost like a blue aura, like just has a lot of blue energy. And that could also be an angel, because they do tend to show themselves with, to me, as like pure energy. So they each have kind of different colored auras. So that could be an angel with a blue aura. So it could be under Archangel Michael, or it could be actually Archangel Michael himself. So yeah, those are the 3 that are coming forward. And I'm just asking too if they have a message for you. Oh, they're saying that they want to acknowledge you for all the work you've been doing on yourself lately. And it feels like you've been working really hard to improve your life, and you've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of processing, and it just feels like you're doing the hard work, and they're really proud of you. And they're excited that you're kind of starting to get more in touch with your spirituality, because it is going to help you understand life better and your purpose here, and your vibration is going to continue to raise, which will bring more happiness in your life and opportunity. So they just wanted to acknowledge you for that.
Cool. The next question is, it kind of looks like it's a prediction question. I forgot to say this in my intro, but the thing when it comes to predictions is, it's kind of like a side note. I want to let you guys know this is it also, let's say if, let's say, for example, I'll use myself as an example, and we say like, oh, am I going to meet am I going to run into an abusive relationship, right? And for Maria, she might see the probability of it. And let's say I came up from a rough childhood, and I didn't know how self-love was. My dad was abusive and all that stuff. So she can see how that would affect the future and the probability of me most likely going to a terrible, bad relationship. She can see that. But again, at the end of the day, we do have our free will. So at the end of the day, I could, if a bad boyfriend came along, I could have the free will to say like, no, I'm not dating you. But so I just want to let you guys know that there's things that come across our path, but at the end of the day, we always have free will, right? So this is actually a question from Will. My question is geared towards my marriage. Will my wife and I ever reconcile, or will we truly be divorced?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sorry you guys are sorting that out right now. I know that's tough. It feels like there's just been a long history of fundamentally like misunderstanding each other. It feels like communication styles are kind of very different. Does that make sense to you? It feels like maybe, I don't know if you want to unmute Will too.
Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna try to unmute each person that I asked a question for. Let me find you in the chat. Where are you, Will?
I see his little square.
Okay, you're unmuted. Cool. Oh, and also Jing said, OMG, I teared up. Thanks, Maria.
Oh, welcome, Jing. So Will, it feels like there's some issues with communication styles between you two. Like maybe you can fundamentally communicate very differently. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, so that seems to be one of the core aspects of your issue, is that you misunderstand the intention behind what each other is saying sometimes, and then it can cause like hurt, unnecessary hurt, when really it's just the styles are so different that you got from your each individual point of reference, you are seeing it as very different than the other person. So if you haven't already gone to like a relationship therapist, someone who specializes in marriage counseling, that would be the thing to work on. And it's going to take a lot of work. And also the problem, the other big hurdle, I guess, for you guys is that there's also a lot of resentment because of all these miscommunications and the way they're interpreted and the way you guys reacted. There's like a little library in each of you of like kind of resentments that are kind of difficult to break free of, right? It's like, it's hard to move forward when you're stuck in that past. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So that's kind of the biggest thing. And have you tried marriage counseling yet?
Yeah, we've tried it a couple of times. All of them were unsuccessful because basically she made an action that got us out of the counseling. Very recently, someone even offered us free counseling. And the counselor asked her to email her some stuff, and she emailed the counselor and said, I do not wish to continue this. And so, yeah. Yeah,
unfortunately, it feels like the energy is not really, your guides are saying that it might be best for both of you to move forward separately and to just, try and leave on good terms. But, that it doesn't feel like there's a mutual effort to solve the problem. And it might just cause you guys way too much stress and sadness to continue to try and sort it out. So that they're kind of suggesting you might both be better off, just letting each other go in a loving way.
All right. That's what I needed.
I'm sorry. Thank you for your question. I hope you guys can figure it out.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Sam, hello. My question is regarding my career. I love it currently, but I'm wondering if this is going to be my long-term career or if it's going to be a change. I've had many careers and often feel the need for change, have moved different places, entered multiple fields. Thank you.
You have a lot of creative energy around you. Do you do a lot of creative things?
Let me unmute her. There you go.
Yes, I do. Yeah, a lot of them.
I see a lot of creativity around you, and your guides are saying that's like where you're the most powerful. Is woo! I'm getting so many chills because they're so excited about like they're just like this creativity is like her magical power. and it gives you a leg up against, not against, but when you're in a team, like it really does give you a leg up because you think creatively, you think outside the box, and you're an innovator and a problem solver. But because you're so creative, it can be difficult to stay put.
Yeah, yes.
And that's understandable. And they're just giving you so much love energy. They're like making me tear up because they're sending me so like through me, they're sending you so much like love energy just to tell you that like you are so talented, and that this is really, you're supposed to be creative in this life. You're supposed to maximize your creativity. So they're saying like, even if you're currently enjoying your job and it provides a livelihood and everything, it does feel like there's more out there for you, and it might involve eventually you starting your own thing, or getting a product or some sort of endeavor. And they're saying you're very aesthetic, like you really like pretty things, and it inspires you. So they're saying, I think you're going to end up doing your own thing eventually. But you'll feel when it's the right time, you'll start to get a little bit of an itch, and start exploring, start sketching out ideas, and see like what really inspires you, and then eventually you'll start to feel the need to maybe explore that side of life. So
thank you.
yeah, it'll happen eventually, so just be patient with yourself.
All right.
They're saying,
I appreciate you.
yeah, thank you so much for asking your question.
Thank you.
Okay. Allie, hi. I would like to know if my brother Vu is with us tonight, and if he is, can he tell me something that will let me know he's with us?
Hi.
Hello. So it feels like Vu is with us. He's presenting as he looks pretty young, like a young man. So that's at least, I don't know if that's how, if that's the age he was when he passed away, was kind of like a young adult, but that's how he's presenting himself. He's wearing like a black t-shirt, and I'm just asking him if like there's some details he can give me. Feels like, okay, so he's talking about something like you guys were, I feel like you had a good relationship when you were younger. I don't know, when you were like kids, it feels like you may have been close, or you shared some things in common that kind of made you bond over it. It just feels like, I don't know if he's just projecting, just like loving, just in his current perspective, like how much love he has for you. But it feels like, it just feels like there was, I don't know, a closeness there. He's talking about a grandmother. It feels like there's a grandmother energy with him, an older female. And he's talking about, it feels like this woman spent a lot of time with you when you guys were growing up. So I'm not sure if it was like a grandmother or a great grandmother or a great aunt or something, but she does appear to be older. Does that make sense to you?
I didn't know my grandparents. I didn't get to meet them.
Okay, so this energy then is more of in spirit then. So even if we didn't know them in life, they can show up and be very attached to us on the other side. So then the energy she's showing me is then she was with you in spirit as you were growing up. I don't know precisely what age she passed away at, but it feels like this energy is very attached to you and is with them on the other side. I'm just asking for information about how he passed away. I don't know why he's giving me a weird feeling in my chest area. It feels like a weird sinking feeling in like from here to here. So I'm not sure if he had some sort of illness or injury in that area. But that's kind of where he's focusing the energy. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's like really dry. It's actually really uncomfortable. So that's kind of he's given me that little bit of information as to how he passed away. He just wants to tell you that he loves you very much, and it feels like the family was very devastated, or very I don't know if the shock's the right word, but it feels like the family went through a lot of trauma, I guess, with his passing. It caused a lot of grief and a lot of just turmoil, I guess, internally within everybody. So he just wants to say, you know, he loves you all very much, and he's with you guys, and that he's doing fine on the other side. He's crossed over, and he's happy, and he's just so happy to have gotten to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Okay. Kara, hi, this is Kara. I just recently met a guy, and we have fell for each other pretty quickly. And I was wondering if there's going to be any longevity in this relationship. Let me find you and mute you.
Hi, Kara.
Hi.
Is it Kara or Kara? I always don't know. Okay.
Okay, cool. Such a pretty name. So yeah, they're showing me like fire, like fiery passion. It hasn't gotten there yet. It's gone now. But they're saying that they just want to give you like a little word of advice by saying, although you have a great physical connection and everything, they just want to make sure that, you know, you slow things down here and there to just get to know each other a little bit, and to get to know each other on a deeper level, and to.
Oh, wait, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I accidentally unmuted you.
Okay, so they just want you to make sure you, you know, you guys get to see if each other's values are aligning, and if they're, if you really share, you know, enough to make this go long term, because it feels like it, you know, you could get caught up in the passion, and then, you know, not invest enough in the kind of process of getting to know each other. So they're just it's just more of saying, make sure you do that. And it seems like, you know, it could really go two ways right now. It's up to you guys as to how deep you decide to dive into it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Okay. This is another Sam, a different Sam. Sam F. I was looking for a message from my grandpa Jim and grandma Nancy if they come through. Otherwise, whatever my guides have to share with me.
Okay, Sam. Sorry, Trin, can you repeat who you wanted to bring through again?
Oh, Grandpa Jim, Grandma Nancy.
Okay. Okay, so they're here, and they're really smiley. They're very happy to come through. They're just like like walking together, walking up. Oh, how sweet. They're just saying how proud of you they are, and that they miss you. It feels like, I don't know why, it just is just an impression I'm getting. It feels like Nancy may have died at an older age or something. Like she just looks kind of older. Does that make sense?
Grandpa was 77 and Grandma was 83.
Yeah, she looks older by like, yeah, that's like about a decade. Yeah, so it's interesting because she's presenting herself as that older self, and he's presenting himself looking a little younger. So it's kind of interesting there. Was Grandma Nancy kind of crafty? Like kind of like making, she liked to make things?
Yeah, she sewed.
Yeah, that's what she was sewing. She was showing like fabrics and stuff. So she just wanted to bring that through as like a little validation. So she, I don't know, she really enjoyed that in life. And so I'm not sure if someone has carried on her tradition or has some of her stuff, like some of the
I have all of her stuff.
Okay, that's why she's bringing it up. She's acknowledging that, and it's really touching. She's very touched by that, and she's very proud. And she's just what lovely little people. I don't know. The way they come through are just so pleasant and so sweet and so polite. Was Jim a bit of a joker?
He was really quiet, so I don't know.
Kind of in his own little style of humor, but he's just kind of, I don't know if it was more of like little inside jokes or something, but he just has a very kind of, at least now he's showing himself a little more like lively and playful. So I don't know if he's just, you know, not constrained by like, you know, people in life anymore. So you could see a little more of that energy come out, which is not uncommon. On the other side, you might see facets of them that were restricted in life. So it feels like he enjoys humor and jokes. So I don't know why he told me to bring that up, but yeah. So
we used to read the comics in the newspaper together.
Okay, it could have been that
Maybe.
that kind of humor, because he was showing that he enjoys humor. So yeah, that would make sense then. So that's their little, I guess their little validations for you. And yeah, they're just so happy to see you and to talk to you. I mean, because they see you all the time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, question from D. Hello. What will my parents, oh wait, let me unmute you. Sorry. There you go. Her question is, what will my parents think about doing egg donations? Will they agree? And what is the possibility to have kids with my own egg as a third attempt? We've had 2 failed IVF attempts. I'm not ready to do egg donation, but I can't decide.
Oh, it's interesting you ask what your parents think, because your guides were saying that you know, not to forget it's a personal choice. You know, they don't want you to feel restricted by you know, worrying about. It's interesting. It's like, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I got all the information here.
So the 2 failed IVFs, and then there's the third attempt.
Yeah, it feels like there's some hesitancy from your parents. Like they may be a little skeptical or a little worried about it for some reason. I think it may just be like a values thing, like a certain value alignment that's a little different, or maybe they're perceiving it differently. But yeah, your guides are saying to you know, just know that it's a very personal matter for you, and so that, you know, they want you to make the right decision that you feel is best for you, and to not get too weighed down by opinions. It's more about like trusting your gut feeling, you know. And so what they're saying too about let's see, I'm just trying to get all the items here. The possibility to have kids, yeah, as a third attempt. Okay, so so if you want to have a child, there will be an option to have a child, but it may be out of the box. So it could be, you know, they're saying to keep your options open, because if you want the child energy in your life, like they'll find a way to give you a child. It's just a matter of being open, I guess. So it feels like there might be, yeah, it feels like there's some contention around the egg donor thing for some reason. It feels like there's just a little bit of concern about it or something, or maybe it's skepticism. That's just the energy I'm feeling around it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get all that data here. Yeah, does that make sense?
I was guessing that they probably, or more likely, disagree to use, you know, donor eggs. So, but it's getting more expensive, you know, every time when you try and fail. So,
well,
okay.
Your guides are worried about the emotional stress it's causing on you, and the health. It could create stress in your body, and so they just, you know, your guides are most concerned about your health and your well-being. So they're saying just to stay open to the idea of adopting maybe a baby or a younger child, just as an option to keep your options open, because if you want to have a child, like it'll be brought to you, but it might not be in the way you expect or have hoped. But yeah, that's it feels like there's just a lot of stress around the whole IVF and the egg donor thing. So yeah, that's kind of where they're coming from, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I know these types of things are really hard, and there's always a lot of hopes and dreams, and there's always a lot of there's always a lot of stress too, because it's so unknown, and there's so many trials sometimes and failures, but they're just saying, if you want to try the egg donor, try it, but just make sure you come in with a positive energy and give it as much positivity as you can, because sometimes when we have a lot of failures, we might expect it to fail again, and that doesn't set it up to have the best energy. But the more times things fail, the more stressful it can be, so
Okay.
that's another little piece of advice for you too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've seen you do readings, and other people have asked a lot about fertility, and how you said when there's a lot of pressure on the womb, the energy of so much pressure, it actually can create a more difficult time to actually have a chance to get pregnant.
Yeah, the body is so sensitive, especially the female body. It's extremely sensitive, and there's a lot of hormone fluctuations with how we're feeling. So creating a peaceful environment and just kind of like letting it go and just saying, like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm just gonna like give it up to the universe and just see what happens. It could help you get through that process a little better, and hopefully not be as emotionally, taxed from it.
Okay. I got it.
Question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one. All right, Lupe. I think I said that right. Will I ever be okay? Will I ever be financially stable? Have always had a hard time even when things seem secure.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, they're showing it's stuck in you're stuck in a certain energy because of that kind of expectation of I don't know if this is going to last forever, or something always feels like it goes wrong. So then you end up manifesting it more, right? But they're saying that it seems like I'm feeling like your childhood might have been difficult, and that maybe there were struggles or resource issues or things like that could kind of have set you up as you grew into an adult to feel like things could be taken away, or that things are unstable. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that, that's how it all starts, is when we're kids and we're sponges and we're just soaking everything in. And then our subconscious becomes kind of wired to always have that feeling. And so basically it's the act of starting to break down those old patterns that aren't serving you anymore, and knowing that you can have a stable career and make good money. It's just a matter of releasing any blockers that you're experiencing. It feels like you're working really hard, or like, I don't know if it's the job is stressful, or if it's the way the hours are or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not helping your energy to be in a place of abundance, you know what I mean? Because you have like nothing left to give at the end of the workday. It feels like you're just like dried up. You're like, oh God, like the dishes. No, I'm just not.
You're right on.
So it's that kind of energy, and so it's basically a little ecosystem around you that is structured around things are hard, things are unstable, bad things could happen at any time, and so it takes time. So be like, again, I see that the patience is kind of the theme today. Your guides are saying that it'll take some patience and some inner work, but over time you can start to break down those barriers. And they're saying one of the ways to start doing that is to do something you enjoy. This is interesting. It keeps coming up in this session today, that because that energy can like reset something, and like when the quarantine's over, maybe taking a little trip, just something. You have to break the pattern. You have to create a break and then kind of start again in a slightly different energy, and then over time you'll stair step your way over to a different energy that'll be completely different. And you'll look back and you're like, how was I even living like that? So just be patient with yourself and make sure to have some fun somewhere, because that fun is a great way to just break up that energy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for your question.
And then for Blanca, why does everything remind me of my ex?
It feels like it's following you around everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know why that happens. It's such, well, actually I do know why that happens. So figure of speech, but basically why it happens is, I don't know if any of you here have heard of the idea of being entangled with someone, like quantum entanglement, or having cords attached from one person to another. It's that. So when we are close with people, even like friends and acquaintances, people that we're with a lot, we can attach energetic cords to one another where, you know, you might be like laying in bed thinking of someone and they text you, for example. That's because there's information going between the cords. And usually when you're actually, I'd say like it happens when you're in a relationship as well, when in an intimate relationship, you'll develop a cord and your lives will kind of become synchronized in some way. And so what happens is, since you're still connected, your cords are still connected, information is still going to be transferred, and there's going to be a lot of coincidences and synchronicities around that, right? So what I recommend is kind of cleansing your energy, getting rid of anything that reminds you of him, that's making the process of getting over it harder. Because when we keep their things and stuff, it still could create a connection again. That cord can grow back again. So I would get rid of anything that's painful, anything that reminds you of him, and just kind of give yourself a chance to like reestablish your own energetic balance again. And you know, I've been through the exact same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it could take time. So, you know, it's a process, like a lot of the things we're talking about are today. So yeah, just be patient with yourself. Again, be patient, and start getting rid of anything that's keeping that connection, and start to find new things that maybe you couldn't do in that relationship that you can do now to kind of reset your energy and get excited about what's ahead of you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carla, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Carla.
She is wondering if she has a team of loved ones watching over that are here today. I am also looking for some guidance while I am taking care of my mother after a hospital stay. Thank you.
Yes, you do have quite a few family members that are around you. It feels like, yeah, there's a decent amount of people that have crossed over to the other side in your family. I feel like there's at least a couple generations of people presenting themselves right now. One of them just stepped forward and said, like, we're your cheerleaders. So that was really sweet. But yeah, they're around you. They're with you a lot. And do you feel like you sense things sometimes? Like you're kind of a sensitive person? Like you maybe sense energy?
I do.
Yeah.
I never know where it's coming from, but yeah.
What was that?
I never know where it's coming from, but I do sense some energy.
Yeah, they say you can sense them, and that you might think of a certain family member suddenly. It could be them, but yes, they're around you a lot, so you might actually feel sensations or like energy shifting around you and stuff. A lot of times, that's your little posse, and yeah, also guides. And yeah, no, you have quite a bit of energy around you. You're a kind of a psychic person, so I'm not surprised being psychic that you have all that around you. And as far as your care for your mother, so you just wanted some advice as you go through this process of caring for your mom?
Yeah. I mean, we just got her home from the hospital today. She's just had an infection from just something in diverticulitis. So I'm just having a hard time walking, and I'm just hoping to be able to get her strength back up.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to maybe take several weeks before you start to see like a really drastic improvement, because it feels like she also just has to adjust to like, I don't know if there's a procedure or something that was done too. But it feels like she has to kind of heal and adjust and to literally get back on her 2 feet again. And for you also, it feels like you were very, very stressed by this, and it took a lot out of you and you had a lot of worry and fear. So they're saying too that they want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself during this time, that you're assisting your mom in healing again, because you're a very empathic person too, and you do have kind of a natural healing sensibility around you. So it feels like you kind of just know how to make people comfortable and how to assist and help, which is a beautiful gift. But also being a natural kind of healing type like that, you can tend to get a little go overboard sometimes and then not take care of yourself and your own needs. So they just want to remind you to make sure to make some time for yourself to rest too.
Right on. Okay. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you. That was fun.
I hear a dog. That's cute. This is from Chris. I was wondering if someone who was one of the first humans on Earth, so someone ancient pretty much, could come in and share a bit about their experience during that time. If no one wants to come in, can Maria talk about what it's like to talk to a very old soul versus a new soul?
Oh, that's
so I guess old meaning like prehistoric, before Jesus' time.
Wow, that's really cool. Okay. So, okay. I'm just scrolling to make sure I can reread it to get everything, because I was kind of like, wow, with the oldest human. Can you repeat that again, Trey? I can't find it.
Yeah. I was wondering if someone who pretty much, is there an ancient person wants to come in and share a bit about their experience during that time? Who wants to, if there's anyone that wants to appear right now?
Okay. Oh, so cool. Thanks for my question. I'm excited to see if someone comes through for that. Okay.
Oh, and I'm going to unmute you.
I felt like there was several energies that were kind of like, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Okay, so I'm just going to pick one. Okay, so there's one energy that's coming forward that felt like they were kind of in what was the Middle East in a very, very ancient time. Their clothing is very simple, very weathered and worn. And I'm just kind of asking, it's a male. He's very tanned, kind of very sun tanned from just being out in this very kind of intense environment. So he's saying that, oh, so interesting. He's saying that, so it feels like he's from about 4,000 years ago or so. I'm not sure if that's ancient enough, by the way. And he's saying that basically, he's talking about how life, what he sees life now and compares it to when he was in that life. And he finds it interesting that we actually try to seek so much enjoyment now in modern life, whereas living back then was more of a chore or a task, and they wouldn't necessarily get to live very long a lot of the times. And everything was just hard. Everything was just laborious. And so he's talking about how now we have a lot of, aspects to our way that we live that allow for automation and being able to easily get food and water. And he was saying he experienced several droughts, and it was like a horrible experience. It was so very scary. And I actually feel like he eventually passed away of a disease. So, but he just, it feels like he died around 40. So it's just very interesting. So what he's bringing forth is just saying that, now modern humans get to the experience of actually finding enjoyment even in small ways. Whereas when he was alive, there really wasn't time to really enjoy life and to do things that you really loved and things like that. It was more about caring for being able to survive and have sustenance and care for your family. So that's kind of his perspective he wanted to share.
Awesome. I think that's it. So thanks everyone for coming out and supporting us. Let us know down below what you guys want to see more of. If you guys want to see more of Ask a Psychic Anything webinars, it seems to be really popular. So there's also upcoming events in April that we're going to have that are free. So there's two other ones. So there's a Happy Healing shop, we're gonna have like a meetup. So think of it as like a virtual happy hour. So you guys get to chat with us, and we kind of get to chat with each other just to kind of like build a community. And then also there is a Healing Your Heart webinar workshop. So that's kind of like if you've gone through, I feel like so maybe you've gone through like heartache, loss, grief, abusive relationships, family, childhood traumas, and more. So if that's something, or you know someone that could benefit from that, let them know. Again, they're both free, so share it with everyone. And I just put in the chat box below the link to it. So yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today and asking such great questions. And just remember that, you know, we can influence our own realities. We are very powerful, and we only just give our power away. So for all of you that are struggling in making a certain decision or worried that you're making the right one, just know that you should trust your gut instincts at all times, and that if you ask for help, it will show up. You just have to look out for the various ways the universe can deliver that for you. So thanks again, everybody, for letting us put on this event and for being a part of it and asking such great questions.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.